Hello and welcome to Unsourced Wall. My name is Elvis, and as always, I am your host. Alright, so there's not a lot to talk about this week. I didn't read that much, and there's only like one big news topic I want to approach, and it's going to be a little bit of a heavy one, so I apologize for that. Please steer clear, at least that portion, if you're a bit more squeamish about the heady topic we're going to be heading into. But other than that, we also have the new episode of Loki, and I actually have a few fair thoughts about that too. So let's just get started. The first topic of which is that apparently Alison Mack, the star or one of the stars of Smallville, who famously played Chloe Sullivan for I think most of the show. I think she had a little brief period of hiatus in the 10th season. Has been charged finally with her role in conducting a sex trafficking sex cult. And it was just 3 years, which is kind of insane. But apparently, people are saying that she actually, decided to talk and cooperate, and that's why she's got such a lenient sentence, because she gave everyone else up. And you know what? Even if that was the case, it's still something where 3 years is insanely mockable. It's not even anything, and the fact that she might just get out sooner than the 3 years is something that's likely and also more enraging. They did some horrible things to these people. They branded these people. They cut their initials into these people. It's ridiculous. It's insane, and it is disgusting that she only got 3 years. They should have thrown the book at her. It's something that I think gnaws at me. It's truly despicable, and anyone involved in that should be ashamed. Honestly, I mean, anyone involved in getting her off so lightly should be ashamed. And let's just get on into what I read this week. Honestly, just move right past that. And what I read this week, well, the first of which would have to be Cable number 11, the penultimate issue of Cable. And honestly, I'm gonna be sad when this series is over. I think that it's been really good, really entertaining. I think that Duggan still has a good handle on things. It has faltered a little bit in these last couple issues, and I think that's mainly because it's had to wrap a lot of things up. It's felt very rushed. It's felt very inconsistent, and it almost incoherent at times. But this issue, I think, is finally where it's okay, now we're at the final stretch. This is the story. This is something where I can actually take my time and just make sure that the plot beats land and hit their mark. And it does that really well. I'm someone that's a fan of this character, but it's just good seeing Duggan sort of roll out the greatest hits. It's very montage heavy, but it's one where a lot of the things that are kind of hit upon are just really entertaining, really funny, and just kind of really emboldening. I do love the inclusion of Deadpool. I think that that's something that was missing here and there. I know they had a little cameo in the first couple of issues, which was really funny and really kind of a good dynamic, and you see a lot more of that played up here, and I like it. I like it a lot. But overall, it is something where you can tell that this was really rushed and maybe even mandated. I think there's a little bit of a running kind of commentary on it from some characters, from some side characters, about how kind of forced and sudden all of this is. And yes, it does feel that way. And that's something that's really holding it back. But overall, I thought this was a great series, and this was a good issue. And hopefully the finale kind of brings everything home. Overall, one thumb up, one thumb middle. And next up, we have what seems to be a really disturbing pattern with X books right now, because last week we had Way of X, which was honestly just distastefully off-putting in the most kindest way possible, and just disgusting overall. And then yet again we have with X Factor number 10, the finale of this series, another one that is just distasteful at best and disgusting at worst. And honestly, I can totally understand either sort of mind frame. And I think just to get through it, a little bit of background is that this is an issue where apparently the creative team wanted to tackle SVU style a real life topic and subject, where there is this clearly thinly veiled version of a real life figure who has been doing, or allegedly been doing, a lot of things that they're having sort of fought against and conflicted against using Prodigy in this series. And so just I don't even know how to broach this. It's just so insanely distasteful. I don't know. I keep going back to that word, because what do you call it when you have your character, one of your main heroes, set themselves up to be raped and killed in order to catch a serial killer rapist. And it's like, that's not something that you really want to see, especially if it's something that it's only going to be like not even a B plot, but like a C plot, and something that's only dedicated to like 4.5 pages of actual screen plot time that's actually kind of motivated by the character that's happening to, and then having it brushed aside as a background kind of thing. It's just weird, and it's just off-putting, and it's just more horrifying because it's something that's based on something that's happening in real life, so you're not even taking that as seriously as you could be, because this is something that's actually allegedly happening, for allegedly being done by a real person, and it's just, no, somewhere down the line someone had to have thought this was a bad idea, but I think that no one really appeared, and given what we already seen with Way of X and stuff, it's not something that anyone is at the helm with in terms of the X line. Like, these are just getting through, and honestly, you have to have someone who's going to be like, no, this is really dumb, or really off-putting, or really just untoward, and is going to draw attention away from the actual characters and story, and maybe even push away readers. And that's what really happens here. And it's really weird because they're taking something so heavy and so raw and just so like disturbing, and then they kind of play it off for a joke at the end. Like, there's a little bit of slapstick at the end of that, and it's, no, this is something that if you're gonna take a serious subject, treat it seriously, and they don't. A lot of people have said this is because that the series was canceled, and so they had to rush a lot of things, and that they had more time to let this plot, flourish. It would have been used with more tact. And to that I say, this series has been spinning its wheels for so long before it even got canceled, before cancellation was on the horizon, that they had no excuse. They should have just stopped giving a shit about the stuff that didn't matter. And if they wanted to give this like the actual sort of foundation and substance they needed, they could have done that, but they didn't. Overall, one thumb down, one thumb middle. I don't be too cruel. Apparently, people I trust have said that Leah Williams wouldn't do anything this untoward purposely, so I have to trust them. Anyway, let's move on to what I watched this week with Loki episode 4. I don't even know the titles. And this was actually one of the better episodes of this season. Probably the one I actually enjoyed the most, like, genuinely. And that's mainly because a lot of things happen, and you actually get to see the characters and actors have great dynamics and chemistry that bounce off each other. It doesn't feel railroaded by like being exposition heavy or being setup heavy or just being just info dumping, like the first 2.5 episodes were. And I think that's really great, because I think that allows like the actors to really show why they're here and why they're great actors, and just they're more of their range. Because now that finally all of that set up, and I think that like I was shocked that apparently Lady Loki or Sylvie or what have you is like a main character, then that means the third episode was also all set up, and it's finally we're past it, because now we're allowing the characters to really just have a lot more interesting interactions, more interesting dialogue, more interesting kind of setups and payoffs for the character arcs. And it all happens in this one episode. And like, okay, great. This should have been done from the very start. We didn't need all these episodes setting up bullshit and then like a lot of establishing shots and just the most minute details padded out and extended for scenes. And like, I feel like you could cut like each of the previous three episodes in half and not lose any information, not lose any character beats, not lose anything at all. And that's how much time just feels like padded out and extended. And you don't really get that feeling with this episode because everything is always moving. Characters are always moving. Dynamics are always moving. Motivations and momentum of like emotional cores are always like going forward. Everything's progressing, and it's great. It's a great feeling. And I think that one of the best things about it is that we start to actually get something interesting in terms of what the story is going and what the ideas and creativity that this show can have are going toward. And that is like, we get, spoilers, Loki falling in love with Lady Loki, and I guess it's mutual, and I just love that idea. I think that's really fun. It's a fun idea, and I think that when you have this series that has this leeway where you're about to like, bounce around time in the multiverse and alternate realities, that's something you can do. Like, that's something that you should do. You should take advantage of it. And if you can have a wacky, crazy, nutsball idea like, hey, he falls in love with himself if he was a girl, that'd be just, sure, go for it. You have the leeway, you have the freedom to do that. And I think they played off for all that it's worth. And I think that's mainly because the actors who play Loki and Sylvie, they have such great chemistry together. And I'm pretty sure that's the reason why, because apparently, and this is something the showrunners and writers have said in an interview recently, that while they were like on hiatus because of COVID, they were going through like the footage they had shot, and they realized, hey, you know what? These two have really great banter and dynamics and back and forths, and you know what? Let's capitalize that when we start shooting again. And I think that's really great. I think that's something that's really sort of amped this episode up, because I love romance plots. I do. It's my catnip. And I think that, again, these actors are really great at sort of having a really free flowing fun dynamic that feels a little bit like will they won't they, even though they're the same person. It's great. And I just wish that this season, this series, whatever it's going to be, was more than 6 episodes, because we had this set up, we had this kind of like paid off as it is, and only 2 episodes left. And like, I was almost having fun with this season, and it's almost over. It's already over, basically, because what the last episode is gonna be? Just more punching, more fighting, and that's gonna be fun. If this was like a 13-episode season, then we could have had like 3 episodes dedicated to Loki and Lady Loki's relationship being developed more, because it does come out of the blue. We could have had like 3 episodes of them on the like apocalyptic, about to be destroyed planet, and then like having this like be the payoff to that. This episode being like payoff to like all the ties put together. Instead, it's just like 1 episode where like they're having a conversation on a train, and that's it. And it's an okay conversation. Like I said, I thought it was good at the time because like we're getting to know them each other a little bit more. But now in the context of them falling in love, we needed more. And a lot of people I've talked to have said that they probably needed more, and that's the consequence of this being such a short season, and also spending a lot of time on bullshit. Like, either need to be shorter than it was, or it need to be longer than it is. But it's in this weird middle area where nothing it does helps. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was really great. I just hope that the next 2 episodes aren't complete bullshit, but they probably will be. Overall, 2 thumbs up. Anyway, that's it for this week. I want to give a shout out to cover for the show at DOTEMCE. Please check them out. They're amazing. And I want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's still listening. It means so much to me, and I'm just really grateful for that. So thank you so much. Have a great 4th of July weekend. Be safe, and see you next time.